You know that feeling. It's a physical weight, a stone in your gut that wasn't there this morning. You're sitting across the table from someone you love, your partner, your mother, your oldest friend, and the conversation is completely normal. They're talking about their day, about a show they're watching, maybe asking if you want more coffee, but you can't really hear them. You can't focus. Your entire awareness is consumed by this heavy, silent thing lodged in your chest. The truth. A piece of information that you know, with a gut-wrenching certainty, is going to change everything. A truth that you know will break their heart, and in doing so, break a piece of your own. And in that moment, all the simple rules you were taught about life seem to evaporate. We are raised on a very clear, very simple instruction. Honesty is the foundation of a loving relationship. It's in children's books, in movie dialogues, in the advice our grandparents give us. Be honest, tell the truth, always. It's presented as the highest form of respect, the ultimate act of care. But right now, sitting at this table, with this stone in your stomach, that rule feels less like a foundation and more like a landmine. It feels like you're holding a match, and the world is telling you that the only way to prove your love for the person in front of you is to light the fuse on the dynamite you're both sitting on. What if the rule isn't wrong, but just incomplete? What if our understanding of honesty is like a child's understanding of fire? They know it provides warmth, but they don't yet understand that it can also burn the whole house down. This feeling, this agonizing conflict inside you, isn't a sign that you are a bad person or a coward. It's a sign that your intuition is picking up on a much deeper, more complex layer of reality. It's your inner wisdom telling you that truth isn't just a collection of facts. Truth is an energy, it's a force. And forces have to be handled with incredible care. Here is what is actually happening from the perspective of the architecture, of how things work. Every single person, including you and the person you love, is living inside a world they have built for themselves. It's not a make-believe world, it is their functional, day-to-day reality. This world is constructed out of their beliefs, their experiences, their memories, and their hopes. Think of it like a beautiful, intricate house made of glass. Each pane of glass is a core belief. I'm safe. My partner is faithful. My parents did the best they could. The future is something to look forward to. These beliefs are the very structure that holds their reality together, allowing them to wake up in the morning and navigate the world. It's a delicate, personal, and utterly essential construction. Now, the truth you are carrying, that heavy stone, is not just a set of words. It is a vibrational event. It's a shockwave. When you speak it, you're not merely sharing information. You're hurling a stone at their glass house. If their structure is strong, if their beliefs are flexible and resilient, maybe the stone just bounces off or makes a small crack they can repair. But what if it's not? What if the very belief your truth targets is the main support beam of their entire house? What if their sense of self, their safety, their very will to get out of bed in the morning rests on the integrity of that one piece of glass? When you throw that stone, the whole thing shatters. And the most devastating part is that the destruction doesn't happen because you told a lie. It happens precisely because you told the truth. The force of your honesty was was too much for their world to withstand at that moment. The tragedy isn't your dishonesty. It's the timing and the delivery of your honesty. We are taught to be speakers of truth, but no one teaches us to be custodians of connection. No one explains that a truth delivered without awareness of the other person's reality is not an act of love. It's an act of pure, unintentional violence. That heavy feeling in your gut is not just fear. It's a profound recognition of the responsibility you hold. You're not just a messenger. You're a guardian of a fragile, shared reality. The question is not simply, should I tell the truth? The real, more advanced question is, how do I honour both the truth and the connection? Because the old way of thinking presents them as a choice, a terrible binary choice between destroying them with the truth or destroying yourself by holding it in. But what if that's a false choice? What if the architecture of reality allows for a third path? One that doesn't require you to choose between destruction and deceit. This feeling of being trapped is the first sign that you are ready to see that other path. It's the pressure that forces you to look beyond the simple rules you were given and to start learning the real mechanics of how consciousness and connection actually work. The pain is the starting point. It's the doorway into a more mature, more compassionate, and ultimately a more truthful way of existing in the world with the people you care about. It begins by admitting that the simple answer, just be honest, is not enough. It's an answer for children. You are ready for something more. You are feeling the weight because you are on the verge of understanding that truth without love is just noise. And your job is to turn that noise back into music, however long it takes. It's about recognizing that every connection has its own rhythm, its own capacity. Your truth needs to be tuned to that rhythm, not thrown against it like a discordant crash. The weight you feel is the call to become a musician of truth, not just a loudspeaker. You are feeling the full responsibility of knowing that words don't just convey meaning. They create worlds, and they can destroy them. This isn't a curse. It's the beginning of a profound awakening to the power you actually wield, not just to inform, but to heal or to harm. And the fact that you're hesitating, the fact that you feel this inner conflict, is the greatest proof that you care enough to find a better way. The discomfort is a signal from a deeper part of you that knows there's a way to navigate this that honours everything. The truth, the person you love, and the sacred space between you. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. So how do you navigate this impossible choice between speaking your truth and shattering their world, or swallowing it and letting it poison you from the inside? The answer is to recognize that this choice is an illusion. It's a trap set by an old, outdated way of seeing the world. This black and white, either-or thinking is a relic from a time when we didn't understand the subtle architecture of reality. The real path, the third path, isn't a compromise between honesty and a lie. It's not about finding a nicer way to drop the bomb. It is a completely different way of operating, one that arises from a deeper level of awareness. It begins with a fundamental shift in your primary question. You stop asking, is what I'm about to say true? And you start asking, is this person in this moment ready to receive this truth in a way that helps them grow? Think of yourself as a gardener. A truth is a seed, a powerful seed with the potential to grow into a beautiful, strong tree of understanding. But a master gardener knows that you cannot just throw seeds onto the ground whenever you feel like it. You don't plant in frozen earth in the middle of winter and then blame the seed for not growing. You wait, you watch the seasons, you feel the soil, you prepare the ground, you make sure it's soft watered and ready. You understand that timing isn't just a small detail, it is everything. The truth you are holding is a potent seed. The person you love, their heart, their mind, their current emotional state, that is the soil. To force a truth on someone whose world is not ready for it is an act of profound disrespect to both the truth and to them. It's not loving, it's careless. This is where we must redefine honesty. A truth delivered without love, without compassion, without a deep awareness of the other person's capacity to hear it. It's just a form of violence. It becomes a weapon. You may tell yourself you're being brutally honest to help them, but often that's a story you tell yourself to justify unloading a burden that has become too heavy for you to carry. You're not trying to help them. You're trying to relieve your own discomfort. And that's a very different energy. The third path requires you to become a guardian of the connection itself. Imagine the relationship between you and this person as a delicate, shimmering web of light. It's built from shared memories, trust, vulnerability, and love. It's a living thing. Your truth, delivered carelessly, can rip right through it. And sometimes the damage is irreparable. Being a guardian means your primary responsibility is to protect this web. This doesn't mean you must lie. It means you must become incredibly skillful. Sometimes it means creating the conditions for them to discover the truth on their own. Instead of telling a friend their partner is wrong for them, you ask questions that guide them to their own realization. How do you feel when you're with them? Does this relationship bring you closer to the person you want to become? You don't give them the answer. You hold a lantern so they can find the answer themselves. This is a far greater act of love. You empower them instead of making them a victim of your truth. Sometimes it means waiting for the right moment. The universe will always provide an opening, a quiet car ride, a moment of vulnerability, a question they ask you. These are the moments when the soil is ready. Your intuition, that same gut feeling that gave you the heavy stone in the first place, will tell you when that moment has arrived. It will feel less like confrontation and more like collaboration. And sometimes guarding the connection means recognizing that certain truths don't need to be spoken by you at all, especially with older family members, like parents who are set in their ways. Is it your job to dismantle the beliefs that have gotten them through 70 years of life, just to prove you're right? Or is your job to love them as they are, and to live your own truth so brightly and peacefully that it shines as an example, not as a judgment? The transformation here is a move away from the ego's need to be the truth teller and toward the soul's desire to be a love bringer. This path is not easier. It requires immense patience, empathy, and self-awareness. It requires you to hold the heavy stone, perhaps for longer than you want to, while you do the sacred work of preparing the ground. But this is the path of wisdom. It's the difference between a child who blurts out everything they see and an adult who understands the power of words. You are not betraying your integrity. By waiting, you are honouring it at the highest level by pairing it with love. Your honesty doesn't have to destroy the people you love. That is the old way, the unconscious way. The new way, the way of seeing the architecture of reality, is to understand that truth and love are not opposing forces. They are two wings of the same bird. For flight to happen, for growth and connection to soar, you need both. You need the clarity of truth and the embrace of love. Your role is not just to speak what is true, but to build a bridge of compassion, strong enough for that truth to walk across. That is how you honour the truth without destroying the connection. You learn to deliver a truth that feels not like a shattering stone, but like a seed being planted in a garden you have both lovingly tended to. You are not just a speaker, you are a gardener of worlds, starting with the precious world you share with the person you love. The weight you feel will lighten, not when you've unloaded the truth, but when you've found a way to share it that nurtures rather than demolishes. That is the new foundation. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments. I will honour the truth and the connection. Write it as your promise. Nobody.